The bow, a precise, elegant weapon that requires focus and mastery. In fantasy literature, archers plays a special role. In both Tolkien's and Lewis' work, the bow is not just a tool for combat, but also a symbol of morality, spiritual precision, and inner strength. Does an arrow's flight merely represent physical accuracy, or can it symbolize making the right choices? Why do elves, the embodiment of harmony and order, wield bows? Why does the narrator of The Hobbit emphasize their nobility? And what role does this weapon play in C.S. Lewis' The Chronicles of Narnia? Today, we will explore the fascinating symbolism of archery, analyzing its meaning in literature and its deeper philosophical connections. In The Hobbit and in The Lord of the Rings, elves are master archers. Legolas never misses, his accuracy almost supernatural. Unlike goblins who represent chaos and destruction, elves are aligned with order and virtue. Their bows are lightweight, their movements graceful. Archery represents not brutal force, but the ability to strike precisely where needed. In Narnia, the bow is given to one of the main characters, Susan, as a gift from Father Christmas. Similar figures appear in other fantasy works, from Robin Hood, who uses his bow to defend justice, to modern characters like Katniss Everdeen from the Hunger Games, whose precision and determination make her a symbol of rebellion and hope. Archery has a deep significance in philosophy and language. The Greek word hamathani, meaning sin, originally referred to missing the mark. An inaccurate shot can be a metaphor for moral failure, straying from the right path. This visual metaphor aligns with the biblical concept of the narrow road and the small gate, where deviation or missing the mark is compared with sin. In Tolkien's stories, characters representing harmony and virtue shot with perfect accuracy. Bard in The Hobbit is an example. His arrows striking the dragon's heart fulfill his destiny, restoring peace and freedom to his people. Bilbo, interestingly, does not wield a bow, but instead throws stones. The narrator tells us that he was skilled at aiming and throwing from a young age. As a professor of literature, Tolkien would not have included this detail randomly. This too is symbolic. Bilbo has the ability to distinguish between good and evil, making choices that drive the story forward. He spares Gollum when he could have killed him, gives away the Arkenstone, and ultimately he embarks on a transformative journey. Throughout myths and legends, stone-throwing characters often symbolize cleverness and adaptability. In the Book of Samuel, David defeats Goliath with a sling, a perfect example of a hero relying on intelligence and strategy rather than brutal strength. Later, David is one of the few Old Testament figures portrayed in a positive light. Why a bow and not a sword? In fantasy literature, the sword often represents strength, knighthood, and direct confrontation. The bow, on the other hand, is a ranged weapon, requiring patience, precision, and self-control. It is the weapon of heroes who rely not on sheer force, but on inner peace and spiritual balance. Archery in fantasy is more than just a means of combat. It is a symbol of moral accuracy, wisdom, and harmony. In Tolkien's and Lewis' works, the bow belongs to those who make righteous choices. If you love fantasy, I invite you to explore our studio store at RPGfigures.com. We create unique, custom-designed miniatures from fantasy, D&D, and sci-fi fans. Every design is crafted with passion and made exclusively by us. And here's something special for our fellow dreamers. Use the code MAGICSTORIES for 20% off your order. In the next episode, we will explore how J.K. Rowling reinterpreted classic myths and how echoes of ancient legends appear in Harry Potter, especially in Harry's battle with the basilisk. Could this be a modern retelling of ancient serpent-slaying myths? We'll discuss that next time. If you are enjoying this journey, don't forget to hit that sub button and ring the bell. It keeps us going and brings you more stories filled with wonder and imagination.